I kept checking the time on my phone and smiling like an idiot. It's our night, I told myself. Just breathe. She had said it clearly, almost laughing, we'll watch the fireworks together, okay? Just us. I believed her because I always did. I messaged her, are you ready? Almost, she replied. Don't worry so much. I just don't want anything to go wrong, I said. She sent a heart emoji and wrote, you think too much. I thought loving her meant waiting. I thought trusting her meant staying calm even when my chest felt tight. I kept telling myself, she's my future. I pictured us counting down, her hand in mine, the sky exploding above us. I had planned everything around that moment. Earlier that evening, she mentioned him again. He's just a friend, she said casually. I laughed and answered, yeah, I know. But my stomach twisted anyway. I hated that feeling. I hated doubting her. I trust you, I told her, maybe more for myself than for her. You always do, she said, softly. I remembered all the promises she made. We'll move in together someday. We'll travel. We'll build something real. Every promise felt solid back then. I had built my patience around her words. I had learned how to wait, how to swallow fear, how to call it love. The street was loud with people celebrating. Someone nearby shouted, 10 minutes. I smiled and typed, I'm here. She didn't answer. I tried calling. It rang once, then stopped. I told myself, she's busy. I told myself, be patient. I stood there anyway, hands cold, heart loud. I whispered, please don't do this, even though no one could hear me. Another message popped up from her. I'll be there soon. Promise? I replied. Promise, she said. I looked at the sky as the countdown screens lit up around me. This is it, I thought. This is our moment. I imagined her running toward me, apologizing, laughing. I practiced my smile. 5 minutes. 4. 3. I checked my phone again. Nothing. I stood alone, surrounded by couples, holding on to hope like it was something fragile. Midnight was getting closer, and so was the silence. I opened our chat again. Where are you? I typed, then erased it. I typed, I'm still here, and sent it before I could think. A couple next to me laughed. The girl said, he's late again. The guy kissed her forehead and said, I'd never miss midnight. Those words hit me harder than the cold. My phone buzzed. My heart jumped. It was her. Traffic, she wrote. With him? I asked before I could stop myself. There was a pause. Too long. Don't start, she replied. You're overthinking. I swallowed and wrote, I just want tonight to be ours. It is, she said. Relax. I nodded even though she couldn't see me. Love means patience, I whispered again, like a prayer. The crowd began counting louder. 10. 9. 8. I held my phone with both hands, waiting for her name to light up my screen. The noise rose, my hope shook, and I stayed frozen, believing that if I waited long enough, she would still choose me at the very last second before midnight finally arrived without her and changed everything forever. The countdown hit 0 and the sky exploded, but my phone stayed dark. I whispered, any second now, even as fireworks cracked above me. People screamed, hugged, kissed. I stood still. She's coming, I told myself. She wouldn't miss this. A man next to me laughed and said, Happy New Year, bro. I nodded and forced a smile. Yeah. Happy New Year. He looked around, then at me. You waiting for someone? My girlfriend, I said quickly. Saying it out loud made it feel real. She running late? He asked. Just, traffic, I replied, though my voice shook. I refreshed my messages again. Nothing. I typed, "It's midnight." Deleted it. Typed, "Where are you?" Deleted that too. Don't panic, I told myself. Don't ruin it. My chest felt tight, like I couldn't breathe properly. Fireworks kept bursting, bright and loud, mocking me. My phone buzzed. My heart jumped. It wasn't her. It was a notification. A photo. Her story. I opened it without thinking. There she was, smiling, fireworks behind her. And beside her was him. Too close. Too comfortable. His arm was around her shoulder. My hands went numb. "No," I said under my breath. "No, no, no." The stranger glanced at me. "You okay?" "Yeah," I lied. "I'm fine." Another photo loaded. A video this time. Her laugh. His voice counting down. "This isn't happening," I whispered. My stomach dropped. Everything felt slow and loud at the same time. I stared at the screen until it burned. I called her. It rang once. She answered. "Why are you calling like that?" she said. "Where are you?" I asked. My voice sounded calm, even to me. "With friends," she replied. "With him?" I said. She sighed. "I told you not to start." "I'm watching your story," I said quietly. "You're watching fireworks with him." There was a pause. Then she said, "You're being dramatic." "I'm standing alone," I said. "You promised." "It's not a big deal," she replied. "You're overreacting." I swallowed hard. "So I don't matter tonight?" "You always do this," she said sharply. "I can't deal with this right now." I waited for an apology. It didn't come. "I trusted you," I said. She laughed softly. "You're embarrassing yourself." Something inside me went silent. I didn't cry. I didn't argue. I just felt empty. "Enjoy the fireworks," I said and hung up. The stranger spoke again. "She didn't come, did she?" I shook my head. "Her loss," he said gently. I put my phone in my pocket and took a step back from the crowd. The noise faded as I walked away. Every step felt heavy, like I was leaving part of myself behind. I didn't look at the sky anymore. I didn't check my phone. I just kept walking, knowing something had ended, knowing I would never wait the same way again, and feeling something inside me break quietly as the new year began without her. I stopped sleeping properly after that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard her laugh from that video. "Get over it," I told myself at 3 a.m., "it's done." My phone stayed in my hand anyway, like it might confess something if I stared long enough. "You're still awake?" my sister asked when she called me. "I wasn't really asleep," I said. She sighed. "Did you eat?" "I'm not hungry." "You said that yesterday too." I kept replaying old conversations in my head. "I'd never hurt you," she had said once. I remembered asking, "Promise?" and her replying, "Always." I laughed bitterly and said out loud, "Always lasted one night." A few days later, I met her. She sat across from me like nothing had changed. "You look tired," she said. "Funny," I replied. "I thought betrayal would help me sleep." She rolled her eyes. "You're still on that?" "You watched fireworks with him," I said. "It wasn't like that," she answered quickly. "Then what was it?" I asked. "You're twisting things," she said. "We're friends." "So friends hold each other like that?" "You're insecure," she said flatly. Those words hurt more than the truth. "I trusted you," I said. "And I didn't cheat," she replied. "You're making it bigger than it is." I stared at her and realized she truly believed that. Something inside me cracked. So my pain is imaginary? I asked. She shrugged. You choose how you feel. I stood up without shouting. I choose to leave. She didn't stop me. That night, my sister came over. She blamed me, I said. Of course she did, my sister replied. It's easier. I keep thinking about revenge, I admitted. She looked at me and said, revenge won't fix what you allowed. That's harsh, I said. It's honest, she replied. You ignored signs because you were afraid to lose her. I sat quietly. What if I'm nothing without her? I asked. Then it's time you find out who you are, she said. I imagined sending messages. I imagined exposing everything. I imagined her begging. None of it felt good. I don't want to be angry forever, I said. Then don't, my sister answered. But don't stay weak either. After she left, I sat alone and said, I loved you, to an empty room. The words felt heavy and pointless. I realized I had built my identity around being patient, understanding, forgiving. I had confused endurance with love. I can't be that person anymore, I said quietly. The silence didn't argue back. For the first time since midnight, I wasn't waiting for a message or an apology. I wasn't planning a comeback or a confrontation. I was just sitting with the truth. She didn't break me in one night. I had been breaking slowly for months, calling it love. That realization hurt more than her betrayal. I stood up, looked at my phone, and turned it off. I didn't know who I was becoming yet, but I knew one thing clearly. I couldn't stay the same person and survive this. I stared at her name on my screen for a long time. Say something, I told myself. End it properly. My thumb hovered, then I whispered, no more explanations. I blocked her number and felt my chest shake. This is it, I said out loud. Silence. Later, my sister asked, did you talk to her again? No, I replied. Good, she said. Don't reopen wounds. I want to scream sometimes, I admitted. Then scream into your pillow, she said. Not back into her life. I avoided the cafe we used to visit. When my phone suggested it, I laughed bitterly. You don't know me anymore, I said and kept walking. I changed my route home. I changed my evenings. I stopped waiting for closure that would never come. At night, I opened a notebook and wrote, today I didn't text her. The words felt small but powerful. I wrote again, today I chose myself. I didn't write insults or plans. I wrote questions. Why did I accept less? Why did silence scare me? The answers hurt, but they were mine. During one of my late walks, someone held the door for me at a small store. After you, he said politely. Thanks, I replied, surprised by how normal it felt. He smiled and said, long night. Yeah, I said honestly. Hope tomorrow's lighter, he replied. That was it. No flirting. No pressure. Just kindness. I walked out thinking, so this is what respect feels like. It confused me more than cruelty ever did. A few days later, my friend asked, aren't you angry? I am, I said. Then why are you so quiet? Because revenge would keep me tied to her, I answered. I want out. He nodded slowly. That's strength. I still imagine confronting her. I imagined saying everything I held back. Then I asked myself, would she hear me? The answer was always no. So I let the speeches die in my head. One night, I almost unblocked her. My finger hovered again. Don't, I whispered. You already said goodbye. I locked my phone and went for a walk instead. I started waking up earlier. I cooked simple meals. I listened to music without checking my phone. I told myself, survive today. That became my revenge. Survival. Growth. Distance. Karma didn't arrive dramatically. She didn't beg. He didn't disappear. Nothing poetic happened yet. But something inside me was changing. I felt calmer. Quieter. Heavier, but steadier. I wrote one last line in my notebook that night. I don't need to be understood by someone who chose not to understand me. I closed it and breathed deeply. I hadn't won anything. I hadn't healed completely. But I had stopped chasing pain disguised as closure. As I walked home under quiet streetlights, I realized something important. Choosing silence wasn't weakness. It was the first decision I made for myself, and it felt like the beginning of a different life. I didn't go looking for news about her, but it found me anyway. A friend called and said, "I thought you should know." "Know what?" I asked calmly. "They fight a lot," he said. "Her and him." I stayed quiet. "Don't you want details?" he asked. "No," I replied. "Not really." Later, another message came in. "She looks tired lately." I typed back, "Okay." "That's it?" my friend asked. "That's it," I said. I noticed how strange my reactions felt. A few weeks ago, I would have asked everything. Now, I just listened. "They argue in public," someone said. I answered, "That happens." "She complains about him," another added. I replied, "I hope they figure it out." My sister raised an eyebrow when I told her. "You're very calm," she said. "I'm tired of being emotional about people who aren't emotional about me," I replied. She smiled slightly. "That's growth." I still remembered how she used to talk about him. "He understands me," she had said once. I remembered nodding, swallowing my doubts. Now, hearing that he didn't understand her at all felt hollow. Not satisfying. Just empty. At work, someone asked, "Doesn't it bother you?" I shrugged. It used to. And now? Now I'm busy fixing myself. I started noticing changes in small ways. I slept better. I laughed without forcing it. I stopped checking my phone every hour. During walks, my shoulders felt lighter. "You look different," a colleague said. "How?" I asked. "Calmer," she replied. One evening, a mutual friend said, "She regrets losing you." I paused and asked, "Did she say that?" "Not exactly," he admitted. "But I can tell." I nodded and said, "That's her lesson, not mine." Inside, I expected fireworks. I expected relief. Instead, I felt peace. I don't need her regret, I told myself. I needed my dignity. Saying it felt final. Another message came. "He's jealous," someone said. I laughed softly and replied, "That's unfortunate." "You're really done, aren't you?" they asked. "Yes," I said. "I really am." At home, I stood in front of the mirror and said, "You survived." The reflection didn't argue. I remembered how I once begged for reassurance. Now, I gave it to myself. I thought about revenge again, briefly. Is this it? I asked silently. Is this karma? It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't loud. It was slow and quiet, like cracks spreading under pressure. I realized something important while walking alone that night. I didn't feel curious anymore. I didn't feel replaced. I felt complete enough to keep going. When her name crossed my mind, I didn't tense up. I just breathed and let it pass. "I don't need to be chosen again," I said quietly. I already chose myself. She didn't stop me. That night, my sister came over. "She blamed me," I said. "Of course she did," my sister replied. It's easier. I keep thinking about revenge, I admitted. She looked at me and said, revenge won't fix what you allowed. That's harsh, I said. It's honest, she replied. You ignored signs because you were afraid to lose her. I sat quietly. What if I'm nothing without her? I asked. Then it's time you find out who you are, she said. I imagined sending messages. I imagined exposing everything. I imagined her begging. None of it felt good. I don't want to be angry forever, I said. Then don't, my sister answered. But don't stay weak either. After she left, I sat alone and said, I loved you, to an empty room. The words felt heavy and pointless. I realized I had built my identity around being patient, understanding, forgiving. I had confused endurance with love. I can't be that person anymore, I said quietly. The silence didn't argue back. For the first time since midnight, I wasn't waiting for a message or an apology. I wasn't planning a comeback or a confrontation. I was just sitting with the truth. She didn't break me in one night. I had been breaking slowly for months, calling it love. That realization hurt more than her betrayal. I stood up, looked at my phone, and turned it off. I didn't know who I was becoming yet, but I knew one thing clearly. I couldn't stay the same person and survive this. I stared at her name on my screen for a long time. Say something, I told myself. End it properly. My thumb hovered, then I whispered, no more explanations. I blocked her number and felt my chest shake. This is it, I said out loud. Silence. Later, my sister asked, did you talk to her again? No, I replied. Then don't lose yourself, he said simply. I don't want someone empty. That sentence stayed with me. I remembered how I used to beg. Please don't leave. Please choose me. Now, I wasn't begging. I was being seen. I tested the truth one evening. If I pull back, I said, will you disappear? He smiled softly. I'll stay where I'm welcome. I nodded. That's fair. I told my sister later, he doesn't make me anxious. She replied, that's what healthy feels like. Days passed. We talked about small things. Music. Fears. Regrets. I don't need saving, I told him once. I know, he said. I just want to walk beside you. That was when it hit me. I felt chosen without performing. Loved without proving. I didn't rush it. I didn't label it. I let it breathe. One night, I said quietly, I'm scared to trust again. He answered, then trust slowly. I might step back sometimes, I warned. I'll still be here, he said. No pressure. I compared this feeling to the past. Before, love felt like fear wrapped in hope. Now, it felt like calm wrapped in respect. I wasn't waiting for replies. I wasn't shrinking myself. As we parted ways that night, he said, I'm glad I met you. I replied, me too. And I meant it. Walking home, I smiled at myself. This is what safe feels like, I whispered. For the first time, love wasn't loud or dramatic. It was steady. And for the first time in a long while, I wasn't begging to be chosen. I already was. I didn't expect her call, but I answered anyway. Can we talk? She asked softly. I'm listening, I said. I made mistakes, she said quickly. I didn't realize what I was losing. I leaned back and replied, you realized. Just too late. That's not fair, she said. It is, I answered calmly. She sighed. I was confused. You were comfortable, I said. I never meant to hurt you, she insisted. I know, I replied. That's what hurts. There was silence. Then she said, he didn't turn out how I thought. I'm not surprised, I said. You don't care anymore, she asked. I care differently, I answered. Her voice shook. I miss you. I miss who I was before, I said. She whispered, I regret everything. I believe you, I replied. She sounded relieved. Then maybe we can. No, I said gently. Why not? Because regret isn't love, I replied. It's fear. She started explaining. I felt trapped. You were always patient. I was always available, I corrected. That's not bad, she said. It is when it replaces respect, I replied. She cried. I didn't know I was losing you. You knew, I said. You just didn't think I'd leave. She whispered my name. I didn't respond. I'm different now, she said. So am I answered. Can't you forgive me? I already did, I said. For myself. She sounded desperate. Then why does this feel like goodbye? Because it is, I replied. She asked, did you love me? I loved you honestly, I said. And now? Now I love myself enough not to return. She inhaled sharply. You're so calm. I had to become this way, I said. Because of me? Because of what I allowed, I replied. She tried one last time. If I had chosen you that night. You didn't, I said softly. And that choice changed everything. She went quiet. I could feel her realizing it. I lost you, she said. Yes, I answered. I see you differently now, she admitted. I see myself differently too, I said. She whispered, I hope you're happy. I'm learning, I replied. When the call ended, I sat still. My heart wasn't racing. My hands weren't shaking. Her voice no longer had power over me. I felt sadness, but not weakness. I realized something important in that moment. She didn't lose me when she chose him. She lost me when she stopped choosing me every day after. I stood up, breathed deeply, and felt lighter. She had returned with regret, but I had already moved forward with clarity. I wasn't healed completely, but I was free enough not to go back. For the first time, her goodbye didn't break me. It confirmed that I had already walked away. I stood on the rooftop, the city lights sparkling below me. Fireworks started bursting in the distance. I didn't check my phone. I didn't wait for anyone. I just breathed. You look calm, he said beside me. I feel calm, I replied. I never thought I'd feel this way. You've changed, he said softly. I had to, I admitted. I couldn't stay who I was before. A bright streak shot across the sky. Remember last year? I asked. He nodded. You were, waiting for someone who didn't come. I was waiting for validation, I said. For someone to choose me. And she didn't. And now, he asked. Now I choose myself first, I said. He smiled. That's powerful. It's freeing, I said. It's strange, but I can watch these fireworks and not feel hollow. You deserve that, he said. I laughed quietly. I used to think love had to hurt to be real. Doesn't have to, he said. Love should feel safe. I looked at him and nodded. Safe. That's how it should feel. Not anxious. Not desperate. A loud explosion of color lit the sky. I used to imagine her hand in mine here, I said. And it's different now, he said gently. Yes, I said. It's peaceful. I don't crave her approval anymore. I just watch and feel. He reached out and held my hand. You're not afraid to be yourself? No, I said. Not anymore. I've been broken, yes. Hurt, yes. But I've rebuilt myself from it. Stronger. Wiser. I'm glad I get to see this side of you, he said. I squeezed his hand. I almost lost myself trying to keep someone else happy. Now I know I can be chosen without begging, loved without shrinking. That's real, he said. That's rare. The fireworks reflected in my eyes. Each explosion used to remind me of her betrayal, I said. And now? Now they remind me of survival, I said. Of growth. Of strength. Of everything I went through to become me. He nodded. You earned this. I did, I said. And I didn't need her apology, her regret, or her approval to get here. That's true freedom, he said. Another burst lit up the sky. I laughed, a soft, full laugh. I feel alive, I said. You should, he said. You're allowed to be happy without guilt or fear. I looked at him and said, thank you for being different. For being real. For not expecting me to be someone I'm not. I wouldn't want you any other way, he replied. The fireworks ended, leaving the city sparkling quietly. I took a deep breath and said, betrayal didn't destroy me. He tilted his head. It rebuilt you. Yes, I whispered. And now I can finally watch the fireworks, and myself, without waiting for anyone to validate it. I held his hand a little tighter, smiling at the sky. This is what freedom feels like, I said softly. This is what living feels like. I woke up before sunrise, sunlight spilling across the floor. I didn't reach for my phone. I didn't check for messages. I just breathed. My sister called. Coffee? Sure, I said. I feel like talking. You've changed, she said softly. I'm not the same person I was, I admitted. I needed to lose myself to find myself. On the walk to the cafe, I passed streets I once avoided. I used to expect her name, her presence, some reminder. Today, I felt nothing. Free. At the cafe, I ordered a coffee. The barista smiled. Long night? Something like that, I said, laughing quietly. You seem lighter, she said. I am, I replied. I finally understand what that means. Sitting down, I thought about everything, her betrayal, the heartbreak, the silence, the new love I didn't rush. I whispered to myself, I forgave for me, not for them. My sister nudged me. You're reflecting a lot. I am, I said. I've been waiting for closure, but I realized closure isn't about them. It's about me. Sounds like wisdom, she said. I remembered standing alone under the fireworks last year, my chest tight, my hands shaking. I was so small then, I said quietly. You grew, my sister said. Yes, I replied. And I survived. That's what counts. I thought about the new person in my life. He doesn't need me to beg. He chooses me without me asking, I said. That's how it should be, she said. Yes, I whispered. Love should feel safe, not anxious. That took me too long to learn. A stranger at the cafe smiled at me. I smiled back. It was normal. Calm. Peaceful. I reflected on the past, not to dwell, but to honor it. I don't erase it, I said quietly. It taught me strength. Are you ready? My sister asked. I am, I said. Not for revenge, not for approval. I'm ready for life. I finished my coffee, left a tip, and stepped outside. The morning air was crisp. I inhaled deeply. I don't need her regret, I said to myself. I don't need validation. I only need me. I felt the weight lift completely. No bitterness, no longing, just clarity. I looked ahead. Streets stretched forward. Sunlight glinted on the pavement. I walked away, I whispered. And that's when everything began. I walked slowly, calmly, with my head high. I didn't glance behind me. I didn't need to. The past shaped me, but it didn't chain me. With each step, I felt lighter, stronger. I felt whole. I knew that true love didn't arrive when I begged for it. It arrived quietly, in patience, in respect, in choosing myself first. I smiled. I'm ready for what's next. And I kept walking, forward, without looking back.